Kråkan, also known as Corvus Cornix, and welcome to Yacc, yet another Crowcast where I pick a game, I play it for a week, and then I'll talk about it. This week's game is Back to the Future for the Nintendo Entertainment System. It was released in 1989. It's a single-player game developed by Beam Software and published by LGN. And also be some spoilers up ahead, just so you know, but first a little backstory. So how do I describe this game in a proper way? I like the summer, I like good food and drinks, and I don't like this game. So the plot of this game is pretty simple. Marty McFly is sent back in time to the year 1955 to change the past. It's a simple idea, just follow the movie script and everything should be fine, right? But did they do that? Not fully. So at the start of the game, there's a bunch of company names, and eventually the Back to the Future logo appears, accompanied by a horrible sped-up music theme, which actually is the main theme of the game, believe it or not, and then you're prompted to press the start button. So the first level of the game is the streets, and this takes place in Hill Valley, by the way. So you start with 4 lives going down a street, and Marty for some reason can't stop. Once he starts going, he can't stop. On the screen you also have, or also you can see, high score and a faded picture, some clock, it's like a counter, and a timer ticking down. It's a bit convoluted what these things does at the beginning. So in the level you pick up these clocks, and the reason for picking up these clocks is for the portrait not to fade. Totally logical, by the way. And the enemies of the game are ordinary Hill Valley people like hula hoop girls, bees, guys wearing pink and blue shirts, and 2 guys carrying a glass window for some reason back and forth. And all these people wants to stop Marty for some reason, and it makes no sense. So the obstacles of this game are manholes, trash cans, and benches. And the power-ups are a bowling ball. I totally remember that from the movie. It's used as a projectile to just throw on people in the streets. There also is a skateboard that will make Marty go much faster, but you might think it's a good thing, but it isn't really. And if Marty for some reason hit anything, he falls on the ground and cries like a baby. So another thing about this game, the music is on repeat and it's super annoying and repetitive. But there's actually a way to turn off the music, and I'll talk about that in the secrets, Easter eggs, and glitches section. So you don't need to collect all the clocks of the game. In fact, I advise you not to. Just stay at the bottom of the screen and take it easy. There is no reason to be at the top. And once you beat the street levels, you get some bonuses and then you move on to the next stage. And also, I forgot to talk about it, but if the portrait at the bottom of the screen fades completely, Marty will fall to the ground and cry like a baby and lose a life. So if you don't like the concept with the street levels, I have some bad news for you. You have to beat 4 more levels like this. And once you dealt with the streets, you will enter Lou's Cafe, where you need to deal with some bullies. So you stand behind a counter throwing beverages at them. You need to hit at least 50 in order to progress to the next stage. So if you for any reason fail to hit them, or if one gets too close, you'll be thrown across the bar into the wall, and you need to replay the street levels again. I think the last one at least. And it's brutal and unfair. But there's a trick to this level, so the bullies will come down to the bar in like 5 lines, and once you have to look at both Marty and the bully at the same time. Okay, they're about the same level, that's what I'm trying to say. And once you figure that out, it's a little bit easier. And after that, Marty is heading for the school. But before that, you need to beat 5 more street levels. This is just padding and so unnecessary. Next up is Hill Valley High, where you need to break Lorraine's heart. So this is a mini game just like the cafe, but you need to block Lorraine's heart. You do that with a book. So in the movie, Lorraine has a crush on Marty, or something in the lines of that. So the weird thing about it is that Lorraine is Marty's mother, and this is because of time travel and stuff, and it's convoluted, complicated, and weird. So you need to block at least 50 hearts in order to progress, and after that, guess what? 5 more street levels. And that is on to the dance, where Marty is on stage playing electric guitar, so you need to block 3 kinds of notes, high, low, and mid. You do this to build a heart meter for your parents to kiss in the audience, and that's about that. I don't know why, but it's just a thing that I'm not going to talk about. I'm just going to move on. And then it's 5 more street levels, and then you get to drive the DeLorean down the road. You need to hit 88 miles an hour, and also while avoiding lightning bolts. And if you for whatever reason fail at this, it's back to the beginning of the game over, and you need to restart. It's brutal. But that's the end of the game. So gameplay. Help Marty change the past to make a better future. Control, the D-pad is movement, the B button jumps, A is projectiles, in form of a bowling ball if you pick it up, and the start button pauses. Graphics. For some reason, the main character Marty doesn't look anything like he does in the movie. He wears a black tank top or a sleeveless shirt, and I don't know what that is about. Sound and music. Gavin Anderson made a soundtrack and sound effects. And I think there are only 2 tracks in the game, and they are very repetitive and they loop. So the main theme is actually a sped up version of the song Power of Love. And it wasn't Anderson's decision to speed it up, it was actually a programmer. Easter egg seekers and glitches. So there's actually a way to turn off the annoying loop in music in the game. So while pausing, hold the B button and then press start again. And if done correctly, the music will stop. You will just hear the sound effects. I also watched an old commercial on YouTube regarding this game, and it has a narrating voice saying, "It's almost like being in the movie," which is a complete and utterly lie. So in conclusion, I wrote, no, sit this one out. So at least the controls are pretty good. That's about it. The music is terrible. The game is long and unforgiving and has little to do with the movie. I'm talking about the streets levels here. And Marty doesn't even look like he does in the movies. So last week, I thought I played the worst game that I ever had for the podcast called Predator, but I didn't. This is far worse than Predator in so many ways. It has maybe it's a thing with like licensed games and movies that doesn't work. Okay, I'm just gonna say like last week, watch the movie instead. You will have lots more fun and be a much more happier person than I am right now. So anyway, thank you for listening and watching, and take care.